Welcome to the Daddyball podcast from Kraken Media. Today we're going to discuss showcases and camps. And I want to address some of the major misconceptions that travel ball parents have about these showcases and camps. A lot of people believe that if you go to a showcase or a camp, your child will be seen, you'll get recruited, you'll end up playing baseball in college. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not how it works. These showcases and these camps, 75 to 80% of the time, is all about money. It's about generating money for who's running the showcase and about generating money for who's running the camps. Now, it's not to say that these showcases and these camps are not good for you to go to if you want to play college baseball. However, you have to know how to do it the right way. Now, most people believe you can only go D1. Everybody wants to go D1. Well, in a different podcast, I'm going to address the differences between D1, D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO colleges. And probably D1 is probably not the best fit for most travel ball baseball players that wish to play at the college level. But let's talk about showcases and camps. Let's start with you pay $400, $500, $600, maybe $250 to go to a showcase or to a camp, thinking, well, great, there's all these college coaches there. I'm going to be discovered, or my child is going to be discovered, and I'm going to end up playing college baseball. Well, the reality is, if you go to a camp or to a showcase and there are college coaches there, those college coaches are going there with a list of players that they are looking to see. They're not going there for you, unless you've communicated with them ahead of time. The proper way to do this is if you want to go to a specific school, you want to go to the University of Florida, you want to go to LSU, you want to go anywhere, it doesn't have to be even D1, D2, D3, NAIA, or JUCO, you need to make sure you're in contact with those coaches. You need to send them your information. You need to send them videos of how you've been playing. You need to create that open line of communication with those colleges. Now, those coaches are going to want to see you. So if they want to see you, you have to then go to a camp or a showcase that they're at. But most college coaches, when they go to a showcase, when they go to a camp, and they're looking at players, they're looking at a list of players they've already identified as possibility for joining their program. So if there's 100 players that are in that particular camp or showcase, they may only have a list of 5 or 10 players that they're going to walk around, find them, and those are the players they're going to look at. Now, of course, there is the once-off, every once in a while, where a kid is just having a phenomenal weekend, and he's got a lot of buzz, and he's a stud. He's either pitching like lights out or knocking the ball out of the park, and then those coaches will see him, and then they'll say, who's that guy? But most of the time, those coaches are going there to look at specific players, and that's it. They have their schedules, they know what teams they're on, they know where they're going to play, and they're going to see that particular coach. So how do you get on that list? Well, that starts by communicating with these colleges, whether it's you, whether it's parents, whether it's your coaches. If you're set up with a good organization who has contacts with the coaches, that's a great way. They can start telling these college coaches and their recruiting coaches where you're going to be. They've already talked to them about if you're a pitcher, how fast you're throwing, lefty, righty, what kind of pitches you have. If you're an infielder, an outfielder, a catcher, how you're batting, how your infield skills look, how your outfield skills look. And they've opened that line of communication with those individual coaches. Now, if the coach is going to a showcase and you're going to that showcase, that coach will know, okay, this is the guy that I've been talking to, the player, the high school coach, the travel ball coach, any one of those things. So it's extremely important that you go ahead and contact colleges that you think you can play at. You also have to be realistic. Not everybody can play D1. That again will be another podcast about parents being realistic about their child's ability. Because not everyone's going to go play D1, and even if you're a really good player, playing D1 may not be the best situation for you. But we'll go into that again at another podcast. But this one is specifically about showcases and about camps. Now, many of you who are listening to this are probably getting emails or your son is getting emails saying, hey, Johnny, come to our camp. There's going to be 10 college coaches there. We're looking to fill our roster for your year, whether it's 2020, 2021, 2022. And many people believe, oh, great, my child's being recruited. I'm sorry to say, but 9 times out of 10, that's a form email that they're asking you to come because they're trying to generate money for their program. The way you know is if it's a personalized email. They talk about you personally. Maybe they've seen you. Maybe they've heard about you. You'll know it when it's a personalized email versus a form email sent out to thousands of kids and they're just trying to generate revenue by getting kids to come to their camps. Now, it's not to say if you get those and it happens to be one of the schools that you want to go to and the coach or wherever the email came from is from a school you want to go to, well, that's great because then you can start the communication. Usually they send them out 3, 4, 5 months in advance of when the event is, and then you can then send an email to the coach or who's ever in charge of recruiting at that particular university or college or JUCO and say, hey, coach, I got an invitation to the camp that you're holding. I'm really interested in coming to your program. Here's a link to my website that shows videos of me. I'm a middle infielder. I'm a pitcher. It has all my information. I'd love the opportunity to meet you while you're there. Then maybe you can get on the list of kids that he's actually going to look at that showcase or that camp. But I got to be perfectly honest, most of these camps and showcases are nothing more than about making money for whoever's running them. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of these college programs or these private organizations that run these showcases, that's their job. They need to generate money. But if you are a parent, if you are a player, and you think that just going to a college showcase or a college camp is all you need to do to get you or your son recruited to play college baseball, I'm sorry to say you are sorely mistaken. There is a lot of work that goes into getting into college. My son personally, he's a sophomore. We're looking to get him into colleges. We will have to go through the process ourselves and through the organization that he plays for to get in touch with colleges to make sure that the coaches of the schools where he thinks he's able to play and may want him, we will contact those coaches and hopefully open a line of communication with them with all of his information and go to the showcases where they're at, go to camps where they're at, so they can take a look at what my son can do. Whether he gets to play ball in college, we'll see. Whether he still wants to play ball in college 2.5 years from now, we'll see. But that's the plan that we have in place, is to contact colleges where we think his ability will get him to play, and where he'll get some play time, where his academics will fit, and then we'll open lines of communication with those individual coaches, and from there, we will then start attending showcases and camps where those coaches will be. We'll inform those coaches, hey coach, so-and-so's going to be there this particular day, he's really interested, we've already sent you his information, videos. If you're interested, please come by and watch us play. We'll send you our schedule once we have it. That's actually how it has to be done. College recruiting is about marketing. You need to market your son. You need to market yourself. If you're the player listening to this, it's all about marketing. There's a lot that goes into it. Academics is a huge part. If you think you're going to go to college and you're a 2.0 student, and you think, well, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread on the baseball field, some college will take me. I can tell you right now, based on the experience that I've seen so far with players that play with my son, coaches 9 times out of 10 ask our organization director, what's his grades? Where is he? What's his GPA? What's his ACT? What's his SAT? You need to have all those things in place if you want to play at college baseball. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about is a lot of people believe, well, I'm going to go to 10 showcases and I'm going to go to 10 camps and all the exposure that I can get is the best thing for me. Well, that's a myth. You've got to be real careful about going to too many showcases or camps, because there's a very good possibility if your son's a freshman or if he's a sophomore or is it even a junior and you're not at your peak, you're physically smaller than other kids, you haven't reached your full potential yet, and you start going to these showcases and these camps, and you start contacting coaches, and they see you, they may very well cross you off their list. They may say, oh, I saw that kid, he didn't show any potential. They cross you off a list, they may put you in some sort of a database where nothing. they're not going to look at you again. They're going to say, oh, we already evaluated him and he didn't fit our program. So be very careful about overexposing yourself where you're going to be seen, but they're not going to see you at your best. They're not going to see you with the most potential. So that's another thing. Also, sometimes people think that showcases specifically are the best way to be seen. And like I said before, 9 times out of 10, these colleges that show up at these showcases, they're really there to see specific kids that they're specifically looking to recruit that might fit into their program. I personally believe that the best way is the individual camps that these colleges may run. So if your son has identified the University of Florida or FSU or Miami or LSU, and you think your child or you as the player think you're actually D1 material, that you have the skill to play D1 at those universities, you want to be in contact with those coaches, and then you want to find out what camps they're running or what camps they're going to be at. You want to target the individual camps that they will be at. Camps work a little bit better, in my opinion, than a showcase. Showcases, yeah, it's a game setting, but there's tons of kids there. You could have an off day. At least to me, my experience with the camps is you're getting a lot more ground balls, you're getting more fly balls, you're getting the opportunity to show them a bullpen, if you're a pitcher, those types of things. So I personally believe that camps actually work better than showcases if you pick the right camps at the right time. Because all this money, you're talking anywhere from $2 to $5 to $6 to I've seen them up as to $800 to go to a showcase or a camp. You're spending all that money and you're probably throwing it away. So that's my opinion on college showcases and college camps. I'm hoping that this little bit of information that I'm putting out there is helping somebody. Where what you really need to do is you need to start by marketing yourself or your child. You need to make sure you have videos of them doing their position, whether it's pitcher, catcher, middle infield, outfield, showing their skills, showing their footwork, showing their abilities, so that college coaches see those videos and they know exactly what they're getting when they come to a camp. Because in my opinion, and from my experience from talking to other people, a college coach isn't just going to come see you because you sent them an email and said, hey, coach, I'm going to be there this weekend. I'd love for you to come see me play. They want to see something ahead of time so they can look at your videos. They're experienced. They know what they're looking for. If what they see in the video shows potential, shows the ability that you can play baseball, then they may go, okay, you may be put on their board somewhere as a possibility to fit their program down the line. Again, they're going to want to know your academics, because if you're a 2.0 or below student, probably even if you're a 3.0 and below student, a lot harder to get coaches to come look at you. Because once you get to college, baseball is pretty much a job, and they want to know that you can handle your academics. So this is just my first podcast that I'm doing. I'm hoping this helps you, discussing what I've learned about the different why and when you should go to showcases and camps, and what's important before you even go to a showcase and camps. Don't just pay to go to a showcase and camp hoping that you'll be discovered, because truthfully that's very rare. That only really happens with the top athletes out there that are just studs. And for most, it's work. You got to market yourself. You got to contact coaches. You got to know what you're doing. That's why they have these recruiting services out there that help you. Some are good, some are bad. Your individual travel coaches, some of your high school coaches will be able to help you in that. Some won't. If you're in the wrong organization, or if you're in a high school where your coach kind of doesn't really know how the college recruiting process works, you got to be careful about that. Because you got to make sure you're on the good side of your high school and your travel ball coach, because college coaches will contact them. From my understanding, college coaches can't even contact the player until their junior year, especially in the NCAA. So even if you're contacting them, they can't contact you back. They're going to want information about you. They're going to want to know more about you, and they're not going to contact you. They're going to contact your high school coach or your college or your organization coach to find out that information, to see if you are worthy of even evaluating to be a part of their program. This is the Daddyball podcast. This is episode 1. Just my insight on showcases and camps, and how I think that parents and players should approach them. Again, I hope this helps somebody. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Leave a comment.